This morning, Chicago leaders are pushing back on the Trump administration's reported plans to send National Guard troops to the city to combat crime. The president has said America's third largest city could get the same federal treatment as Washington, D.C. Joining us now is former Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson. Superintendent, thank you for your time this morning, sir. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
NewsNation is based here in Chicago. That's where I currently am. We're obviously seeing the vehement opposition to this from leaders at the forefront, Mayor Johnson, Governor Pritzker, et cetera. But in D.C., you've got the Metro Police Department and Police Union in favor of the crackdown. So how do police officers in Chicago feel about the potential of this?
Well, listen, I think officers are okay with it as long as it's done in the proper way. If President Trump is truly thinking of helping the city of Chicago, as well as places across the country, that's fine. But you have to let the local jurisdictions direct the way in which the federal people are deployed across the different cities. And if he works in conjunction with the local law enforcement, then that's fine. But if they're going to be independent, then that's a problem.
About 5 years ago, pressing the rewind button here, you were in President Trump's crosshairs after you boycotted his Chicago speech to the International Association of Police Chiefs, citing your own personal values for not attending. He criticized you by name multiple times, compared Chicago to Afghanistan. How do you think the city is about to respond to this if he sends the Guard in?
Okay, well, here's the thing. We spent a lot of time repairing the relationship between the community and law enforcement in the city of Chicago. And I don't think that citizens, they want to be safe, but safe in the right way. When you start to use and utilize military to patrol the streets of your city, then you're going to have a problem with the community at large, because there's a lot of effort put forth to repair that relationship, and just putting armed military out in the streets won't do the trick. It just won't.
Let me play some sound for you from Chicago Democratic Alderman Raymond Lopez, who says he doesn't necessarily agree with troops being sent in, but he says the city does need federal help. This is what he had to say.
We know that we have cartel organizations operating within the city of Chicago. Their stranglehold on our neighborhoods through their drug trade and gun trade, through the illicit street gangs on our streets, is having a horrendous impact.
So, yeah, Superintendent, my question to you is, with Chicago being a sanctuary city, how does that complicate any sort of crackdown, given that local police can't cooperate with ICE?
The communication within the different organizations is critical to them actually being able to help. If he wants to send federal help here, that's fine, but you have to do it in the right context. If they're working independently of the Chicago Police Department, because let's remember, the police department has undercover officers out there in the streets every day that are conducting their affairs in the way that they do it. And if you don't have the proper communication, that could hamper the efforts of the local law enforcement to do what they're trying to do. So, like I said, we'll accept the help, but in the right context.
Sure. We're already hearing reports that the Pentagon is preparing for President Trump to pull the trigger on sending troops to even more cities. Can you take us behind the scenes here in Chicago? I mean, how does the city, how does local law enforcement, are the gears already in motion to prepare for that possible deployment?
Well, of course it is. The administration at large is not dumb to what could possibly occur, but I can guarantee you they want to have communication with that next entity that's going to come in here. Because let's face it, they're not going to be making arrests, conducting narcotics investigations and things of that nature. So if you want to send them to a city like Chicago, that's fine, but you have to do it in conjunction with what the local law enforcement is already doing. So it's imperative that they communicate with the Chicago Police Department if they're going to come here.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.